Every morning, billions of people around the world do something completely ordinary. They pick up a small object, they crack it open, and they eat it. A simple chicken egg. But wait for a second. Look closer at what you are holding. This is not just food. Inside this small shell is a complete package of proteins, fats, vitamins, and the instructions needed to create a new life. If the conditions are right, this same egg could become a living bird. But here is the strange question. Why this egg? Why the chicken egg? Nature created millions of different eggs long before humans existed. Bigger eggs. Stranger eggs. Eggs from fish, reptiles, and thousands of other birds. So why, when humans hear the word egg, do almost all of us imagine the same thing? A chicken egg. The story of the egg is not just the story of food. It is the story of humans, nature, survival, and the choices that shaped our world. But the story did not begin with chicken eggs. Thousands of years ago, humans did not have supermarkets or farms. They were hunters and gatherers. They survived by finding anything nature could provide: plants, animals, fish, honey, and of course, eggs. For early humans, eggs were almost the perfect survival food. They contained protein, fat, minerals, and energy. And unlike hunting a large animal, finding an egg did not require facing a dangerous predator. A small shell protected a valuable source of nutrition. But chicken eggs were not the only option. The ancient world was full of different eggs. If you were born in another culture thousands of years ago, your breakfast might look completely different. In China and parts of Southeast Asia, duck eggs have been an important food for centuries. Humans even developed ways to preserve them for long periods. One famous example is the century egg, a preserved egg with a completely different appearance, smell, and taste from a normal egg. And for millions of people, it is a traditional delicacy. In many Asian countries, quail eggs became popular because of their small size and unique flavor. But some eggs were enormous. Ostrich eggs can be several times larger than chicken eggs. And in parts of Africa, they were once an important source of food. In coastal regions, some communities also collected sea turtle eggs. However, because many sea turtle populations declined, these practices are now restricted or protected in many places. So the problem was not that humans only discovered one edible egg. Nature was full of choices. The chicken we know today was not always like this. Modern chickens came from a wild bird called the red junglefowl, a small bird that lived in the forests of Southeast Asia. But this bird had something special. It was small. It needed little space. It could live close to humans. And most importantly, humans discovered that it could provide something valuable: eggs. The chicken was not originally chosen because it was the strongest animal, or the biggest, or the most impressive. It was chosen because it fit perfectly into human life. Humans provided food and protection, and chickens provided a reliable source of nutrition. A strange partnership began. But this was only the beginning. When humans discovered agriculture, everything changed. People were no longer only hunting animals. They started selecting them. Generation after generation, humans kept the animals with the traits they wanted. Without knowing anything about DNA, humans were slowly editing the genetics of animals. Chickens that produced more eggs were kept. Chickens that were calmer were preferred. Over thousands of years, a wild forest bird became one of the most productive animals on Earth. The modern egg is not only a product of nature. It is the result of thousands of years of human selection. But the success of chicken eggs was not only because chickens produced many eggs. There were several reasons. First, the size was perfect. Not too small like some bird eggs, and not too large to handle easily. Second, chickens could live almost anywhere, from small villages to large farms. Third, an egg comes with its own natural packaging, a shell that protects the food inside. And finally, economics. Human societies usually choose foods that can feed many people at a low cost. Chicken eggs were reliable, affordable, and easy to produce. But there is another important part of the story. Food is not only about biology. Food is also about culture. Something that looks like a normal breakfast to one person can seem strange to another. One culture may consider a food a delicacy. Another may never even try it. Our brains learn from childhood what is normal food and what is not. Many of our food choices are not written in nature. They are written in history. Today, when we crack an egg, we usually see only a simple ingredient. But behind this small shell, there are thousands of years of history. The history of humans searching for food. The history of civilizations changing animals. The history of one small bird becoming one of the most successful animals on Earth. A chicken egg is not just breakfast. It is a story about how humans changed nature, and how nature changed human history. So the next time you hold an egg, maybe you will not see just a meal. Maybe you will see a story that began thousands of years ago.